that in the coming weeks, I will be resigning as a member of the United States Senate.
Now this is bizarre. In the coming weeks. So of course your antennae go up immediately. Why wouldn't you resign right there and then? What's happening in the coming weeks? What's happening in the coming weeks? I don't even know if the Senate's in session in the coming weeks, right? Christmas, Hanukkah, they're all coming. In the coming weeks. But we all know what's happening here. The Alabama election's on Tuesday. Roy Moore might win. The reason the women Democrats came out of the Senate yesterday, all of a sudden, on Wednesday, not last week, but Wednesday, then the reason the other Democrats, the men, started lining up behind them. And then Schumer at the end of the day, to top it off, calling for Franken to resign. And then Franken's speech today, where he says specifically, he's going to be announcing, I'm announcing today that in coming weeks I will be resigning. In coming weeks, prospectively. They're now politically playing a very, very serious subject. If Roy Moore is elected, you're going to hear the calls for him to resign immediately, which of course he won't do. Mitch McConnell has already said he'll go to the Senate Ethics Committee, but you're going to hear demands for his expulsion and his resignation. That's abundantly clear. So, you're then going to start hearing from the Democrats in the Senate and their mouthpieces in the media, well, why should Franken resign? I mean, after all, the allegations against Moore are much worse. This is all a scheme, a sickening, cynical scheme, starting with Kirsten Gillibrand, who I exposed, a couple of weeks ago. She is a fake in 2016, as I explained a couple of weeks ago. She campaigned with Bill Clinton. She took donations from Bill Clinton. She wanted to be photographed with Bill Clinton. She put it on her Facebook site. She praised Bill Clinton. And it wasn't the first time. She'd done it throughout her miserable congressional career. First, she was a congresswoman and got Clinton support in a Republican district. Then Schumer tapped her to be a United States senator. She's been clinging on the Bill Clinton's coattails ever since. And then she says this year, because people are, well, wait a minute, you were backing Clinton. Well, I think he should have resigned. Followed immediately by the male Democrat senators. Followed immediately by Schumer. I don't know how he self-identifies, but I make my own conclusions. Then today we have this phony resignation, where he's basically saying, I'm not guilty. I didn't do anything. First of all, half these women are lying. Secondly, half these women misinterpreted what I was doing. Sent to the Senate Ethics Committee. So what did he say today? He said enough to hang on for a few weeks to see how the Roy Moore election goes. The Democrat Party that stands for women is such a fraud. They stand behind Al Franken. They don't want Al Franken to resign. You haven't heard a single Democrat go on TV and say, wait a minute, what's this? He'll resign in the coming weeks. We want him to resign right now. We're so disgusted with this guy. Where's Kirsten Gillibrand today? Where are all of them today on the Democrat side? Nowhere. You haven't heard a damn thing from any of them. Nothing. It's even worse. As I told you, the day after the election, the goal for the Democrats here is to impeach Donald Trump or to criminalize the election. And what they're going to do is call for Trump to resign. If Franken resigns, if Roy doesn't win, then they're going to turn their guns on Trump. They've already started. It's out of the bag. Bernie Sanders is just too stupid to keep his mouth shut. He can't help it. Cut 5, Mr. Producer. Standing up for the women who are making the charges here. He could care less. This is a buffoon who wrote an essay about how women like being gang raped. It's USA. And now he's out there because the media love him. Now he's passing judgment on everybody. Sanders. And then Al Franken himself gives it up. Here he is again on the Senate floor. Cut.
in the fact that I am leaving while a man who has bragged on tape about his history of sexual assault sits in the Oval Office, and a man who has repeatedly preyed on young girls campaigns for the Senate with the full support of his party.
Now, this is very interesting to me. Al Franken says, if women interpreted what I did a certain way, and these other women, it's just not true. But Roy Moore's guilty. You notice? Franken. Al Franken's innocent, period. But Roy Moore's guilty, period. Korea, I trust the North Koreans over Trump. Get Trump. Al Franken's accused of sexual harassment. It's about Trump. Pathetic. I'll be right back. Confidential or classified information related to the Russian probe, you might recall, when he came from the White House or got information from the White House and gave a press account of what he believed he had. And, of course, an ethics complaint was filed against him by a left-wing kook organization. He had to step aside for a period of time to the Russian probe. So that was an effort, again, to intimidate him by the same mindset, the same left and Democrat party that is enshrined in Washington, D.C. force and apparently intelligence in this country. Absolutely amazing what they've been able to conquer. And it's an exclusive. A senior Justice Department official was demoted this week amid an ongoing investigation into his contacts with the opposition research firm responsible for the anti-Trump dossier, the department confirmed to Fox News. Until Wednesday morning, Bruce G. Orr, O-H-R, that's how you spell it, held two titles at the Department of Justice. Associate Deputy Attorney General. Now, the Associate Deputy Attorneys General report to the Deputy Attorney General. You know who that is? Rod Rosenstein. Remember him? He appointed Mueller. Associate Deputy Attorney General, a post that placed him 4 doors down from his boss, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, and Director of the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, a program described by the department as the centerpiece of the Attorney General's drug strategy. Orr will retain his director title, but has been stripped of his higher post and ousted from his office on the 4th floor of Main Justice. I served on that floor for a period of time under Lowell Jensen, who was an excellent Deputy Attorney General under Ed Meese and Ronald Reagan. Eventually went to the 5th floor, which is where the attorney got across from his effectively as the Chief of Staff. Initially, senior department officials could not provide the reason for Orr's demotion, but Fox News has learned that evidence collected by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, chaired by Devin Nunes, indicates that Orr met during the 2016 campaign with Christopher Steele, the former British spy who authored the dossier. Later, a Justice Department official told Fox News it is unusual for anyone to wear 2 hats. In other words, they gave some stupid bureaucratic comment. Why would this guy want to meet with Christopher Steele? Why was Christopher Steele an effective voice at all in the Obama administration? Talking to the FBI, talking to the highest levels of the Department of Justice. Additionally, House investigators have determined that Orr met shortly after the election with Glenn Simpson, the founder of Fusion GPS, the applied by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. By that point, according to published reports, the dossier had been in the hands of the FBI, which exists under the aegis of the DOJ, for some 5 months. And the surveillance on Carter Page, an advisor to the Trump campaign, had started more than 2 months prior. Now, CNN would never be able to report this information. Instead, they were attacking me. I am telling you, official, I am telling you, as somebody who is a lawyer, as somebody who's been around the block, I am telling you that this is the scandal of scandals. What has been done to federal law enforcement, what has been done to our federal intelligence agencies, and I haven't even mentioned Uranium One yet. Same damn ones. Mueller, Rosenstein, Comey, a rogue FBI agent in my view. This guy, Peter Stark,